Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Oh, one of my favorite people is coming on right now, Toni Angelini. She's from New Jersey. Her and her husband own a restaurant. She's also senior communications analyst with the Job Creators Network. Go to jobcreatorsnetwork.com. She has a fabulous job there. But her and her husband own a couple of restaurants on the beach in New Jersey. So she's had to endure with insane Mad Max Governor Murphy in New Jersey, shutting everything down, no beaches, cops all over the place. And yesterday, a guy in New Jersey defied the governor, owns a gym and opened it, and guess who was there recording it all? One of my favorite people in America, Toni Angelini. Toni, welcome.
Good morning, John. I love the introduction. Thank you very much.
You're always in the middle of it. Whatever it is, you're right in the middle of it. Just like when we went on our 3-week bus tour around Iowa, New Hampshire. Does that seem like a long time ago?
It was like 3 lifetimes ago at this point.
It was so long ago. Remember riding around at that bus now? We couldn't do that now, right? Because we were all packed in there like sorry. It was me, you, Elaine, Curtis. Who else was there? The driver, what was his name? Tony?
No. What was the driver's name? Nick. Yes.
Nick was
that's
Nick.
Right.
Let's just get this straight. So we had this bus, this tour bus, where we going around, and we were on it 7 days a week. It was me, Tony, Elaine, Curtis, Nick. In Iowa, your father was there. That's 6 for security.
That's right. For
your
security, just in case.
And then we'd have people go in the bus. We'd have 2 or 3 people in there. So at any given time, we could have 8 or 9 people crammed into this bus, this RV.
We were violating Governor Murphy's laws left
Oh,
and
my
right,
God.
that's for sure.
Oh, my. It seems like so long ago. And then, we were following Pete and Bernie and this one and that one and Andrew Yang. And then, we blinked and the campaign was over.
The campaign was over. The world was shut down. It was like it never happened.
Oh, God. Okay, tell us about your excursion yesterday. Tell us everything that happened in New Jersey with the gym owner.
So yesterday I took a little bit of a field trip. I got a text message bright and early from my illustrious leader, Alfredo Ortiz, and he said, I think you should go to the gym opening. And I jumped up, and for the first time in I don't know how many days, I, made myself presentable. And I drove about a little bit over an hour southwest from where I live on the shore into Camden County. And I was going to the opening of Attila's Gym. Ian Smith and his partner were opening up the gym in defiance of the governor's orders. I had absolutely no idea what I was, driving into. It was early in the morning, probably 8:30, 9 o'clock. The gym had opened at 8 a.m., and there were rumors floating around that there was a SWAT team, state police SWAT team down the road that were going to go in and break up the gym opening once it reached maximum capacity. So I pulled up, and I have to tell you, there were local not to be confused with Belmar, which is on the shore, Belmar police that were just there and, very friendly, directing traffic, helping with crowd control. I would say there were at the most it was about 200 people, and you had your typical people wearing Trump gear, a lot of Tea Party paraphernalia that was out there. But more interesting than that to me was the amount of Joe Q public citizens that were out just to support this guy. You expect the right wing to be there. You expect them to be standing up against Murphy. But I thought it was a lot more interesting that your average citizen that you talk to said, I live here. I'm not really politically active, but small businesses deserve to open up. And that was what I heard more from them than I heard from the political people. So I got there. There were a lot of bullhorns and all, you can imagine, very rally type atmosphere, some in masks, some not, some social distancing, some not. And after I was there and speaking to the crowd for about 20 minutes, half an hour, a police officer went to the door, and everybody, then at that point, social distancing was over. Everybody crowded around the police officer and started heckling him. And I actually looked it up this morning. I cannot find his name. I wish I could give him a shout out because, I'm the daughter of a police officer and the sister of a police officer. And so I was standing there, and my heart just broke for that police officer because he was getting heckled very badly by several bad apples in the crowd. And he calmed everybody down, and he was surrounded by 200 people alone. And he basically said to the owner and to everybody, "You're in violation of the governor's order. I was here to make sure that everything was orderly and that there were no issues. I'm happy that that's the case. And on that note, have a great day." And they walked off. So then he just left, and he took, several officers with him. And then, of course, the crowd went wild, and then he was the hero. So he went very quickly from the victim to the hero in this little narrative. But he walked off. Everybody celebrated. And then the owner of the gym stood around and started giving interviews, and I had the pleasure of interviewing him for Job Creators Network. There's excerpts of of my interview with him on our Facebook page at Job Creators Network and our Twitter handle, Job Creators USA, that if anybody's interested in seeing that. And I have to tell you, he was the nicest, most humble guy. It turns out that his mother is actually in the hospital with COVID right now, and she's not doing well. She's very sick. And he really expressed to me that he's taking this very, very seriously. He's not saying, the heck with COVID, I'm just going to open up. He's saying, I'm taking COVID incredibly seriously. I've made all of these arrangements in my gym to allow my customers to come back in, and I need to work. And he said to me, it was off camera, but he said to me, the emotional toll of dealing with my mother's illness combined with the emotional toll of not being able to feed my family, it's just too much. I have to do something. And your heart just breaks for him. I mean, he's a small business owner just trying to take care of his family, take care of his employees. And, I sort of like tongue in cheek, I said to him, were gyms sanitary beforehand? It's not like a gym is, you're not going there to eat off the floor, So I said to him, your customers trusted you prior to COVID to keep this a clean and healthy environment, and they're going to trust you again. And that's basically what he said. He said that he and his partner had a lot of time on their hands to figure out what would make sense, how to maintain social distancing and still allow people to work out. And they put together a thorough plan that they stand by, and they were ready to open up. If you can pack 50 people into a food store, why can't you have people in a gym working out?
And what's the answer to that?
Well, I think that Governor Murphy is gonna be the one with the answer. Governor Murphy yesterday during his press conference, which I can only stomach so much of it, so I was sort of half listening. A reporter asked him about Ian Smith, and he made some elusive threat that Ian's life was going to look very different today, meaning Tuesday, than it did on Monday. I don't know what that means. Ian was on Tucker Carlson last night, another great interview, and Tucker said, he's not a social activist. He's just a normal guy who's trying to do some hard work. And Ian said he's opening up this morning, 8 a.m. they open up, and he's willing to take whatever hits Governor Murphy is going to hand out. And I have to say, you know Jersey well. I don't often get to experience something like that in New Jersey. We've often been written off as a lost cause. It really put a pep in my step yesterday as a small business owner myself to see that people were rallying around this guy and ready to support him. He had a line around the gym for people to get in. His customers were ready to go. They supported him, and I pray that he will be able to be successful in the next couple of days without any government interference.
All right, Toni Angelini with us from the Job Creators Network, who was there with the gym opening in New Jersey live. Couple questions. What did Murphy say? Is he going to put him in jail? Fine him? What?
He was very elusive about what he was going to do to him. They did issue him a summons yesterday,
right?
Which, after speaking to an attorney friend of mine, they think it's more of a municipal court, sort of like disorderly person summons, nothing that would require jail time. So, but allegedly today, Murphy was going to go to the next level, whatever that means. There's no guidance. There's no guidance on how we're going to open up.
Here's Murphy's dilemma. He had the same thing that Governor Northam had here in Virginia with the beaches. When you have an order and somebody violates it, you got two choices. You either look the other way and then everybody violates it and there is no order, or you crack down with a bat, right? Or you do the tweener, which is, you fine him $1,000 a day, right? Either way, he's not going to be able to stay open. But the real question is the people that were supporting it, okay? This is my important question because, Toni, you said 3 times these were not your typical, activists. Mm-hmm. There's a school of thought that says, there's 30% of people that want everything open and they're basically Trump supporters and that's it. 70% don't want anything to do with it. They want to just stay home and hope everything's okay and hide in their mask. Was that the 30% of Trump supporters, or did you find supporting this guy just average New Jerseyans that just want to get their life back? Which was it?
These are average people. These are people, I don't even know if they're registered to vote, and I didn't ask. But these are not people who are supporting Trump. They are not people who were wearing Trump T-shirts. There were some of those in the crowd, and I'm sure that the left will point to that. But the vast majority of the people that were there because they wanted to support the small business owner in their town. The one guy said to me, he was camera shy. He didn't want to be interviewed on camera, but he was friends with one of the cops that was there. Mm-hmm. And he said, my friend, whatever his name was, told me I should come down and check it out. And when I got here, I saw everything that was going on, and I decided to stay because I wanted to support the opening for this small business. I genuinely believe that the majority of people that want the country to open up, or in our case, New Jersey, I think that they're just normal citizens that are ready to try and figure out what it's going to look like to get back to work. Yesterday, Murphy ordered that you can now tee off as a foursome. A week ago, you could only tee off as a twosome. Where is the scientific data that shows in the past 7 days something magical has happened that a foursome can tee off get coronavirus, where a week ago it was only 2? It is nonsensical, and people are finally starting to realize there's no science that says how many people can tee off safely. It's absolutely unacceptable that they are completely gutting the small business economy while Target is open and Walmart is open, and you can now golf, and you can have 10 kids can come down the shore and rent a house as long as it's for a month but not 2 weeks. I mean, the regulations that Murphy is imposing on us are onerous, and they are impossible to base scientific
They don't make
data.
any sense. What's the difference if you golf in a twosome or a foursome? You're on a golf course. I mean,
Yep.
it is so insane what is going on, but you give these people power. I just want to know, when do we start pushing back? Hey, what happens if a contact tracer knocks on your door and wants to test your children? What's your reaction to that?
The door's not opening. Absolutely not. And quickly to your previous caller, when swine flu came out, vaccines were mandatory for kids in daycare. My 2-year-old was in daycare at the time. The swine flu vaccine was brand new, and I was not giving it to her. I wrote a letter to the school that it was a violation of my daughter's constitutional rights to force me to vaccinate her. And they accepted it and moved on. So, so that's where I stand on that.
Are you an anti-vaxxer?
I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I am a skeptical vaxxer. I do my homework.
Toni Angelini, thank you for being with us. Thanks for being on the ground. New Jersey at a breaking point. Here's the key, folks. There is a contingent of people that believe the only people that are upset by the lockdowns are the 30% of hardcore Trump supporters. I don't see that. Toni didn't see it in New Jersey. I think that's a myth, and I think there's a silent majority that is going to rise up when this thing is over because they're looking at how they've been scammed and their lives have been destroyed, and there's going to be payback, and it's coming in November, big time. This is going to be Tea Party on crack. Toni, thank you for being with us.
Bye, John.